Hello and welcome to a live stream today. Obviously, we talk about CPI. Yeah, we've got the CPI report come out in roughly half an hour. It's at the moment it's a bit of waiting, so a bit of a wait and see because the markets are literally just frozen and not much is going on here. And I think no chart has changed any scenario, and I think we're just sort of playing out the relevant wave counts and scenarios, but of course in slow motion. So it's all about waiting, understanding what the market is expecting at the moment. So let's do that, and let's first of all take a look what is actually the expectation for today. Maybe wait 1 to 2 more minutes because the stream, I think we're a little early. So feel free to hit the like button. I would really appreciate it because it will share the stream to more people. I don't think too many people are going to join because it's really boring out there. So I think a lot of people are just sort of switching off, waiting for a move to happen. But yeah, that would help. So yeah, what are the expectations? So let's hit it here. Really need to try an ad blocker next time here on this anyway. What we see here is that the year-over-year CPI data, where are we? Yeah, year-over-year US Consumer Price Index. Obviously, that's what's going to be released today in half an hour, pretty much. The actual is 4. Yeah, so 4 was last month. Yeah, released on the 13th of June. Now a month later, we're looking at the next release, and the forecast is 3.1%. So that means quite a significant drop. I think that would be one of the most significant. That would be one of the most significant drops that we've had in a while. I mean, already last month we had a drop of 4.9 to 4%. So things seem to come down. Yeah, inflation seems to come down, and it has so far dropped, I think, slower than the Fed wanted and anticipated. But of course, they still plan to increase interest rates, I think, 1 or 2 more times. They might then, I don't know, shift their opinion or, make the last decisions based on the most recent inflation data. Yeah, so we've got that, and this is year over year. Year over year. So obviously, what's interesting is what's going to happen if we get below forecast. And I did read a few articles, did read a few forecasts about it might actually be lower. The actual might even be lower than the actual consensus, so 3.1%. So let's see. I mean, I don't exactly know what's priced in, but likelihood is that 3.1% is priced in. So below that would actually be, let's say, a little more bullish for crypto. And anything above it would obviously lead to a little bit of a sell-off, right? And 3.1 might be extremely neutral. Now and then month over month, here actually we have forecast, 0.3%. Previous was 0.1%. Again, anything lower than that would be bullish. But I think year over year is sort of the more relevant one, right? Right. And so anything lower than the forecasted number is generally considered bullish for crypto. So we need to focus on that. Still got like 25 minutes. Okay, so don't know. There is not much more going on. I mean, crypto markets frozen. Bitcoin, you know that if you watch my videos, really at a key pivot point here, hitting the ceiling here of a trend line. We've got this descending trend line on the chart, but it's overall a really, really boring range. So far, movement to the upside here of the Thursday, the 6th of July low has been extremely corrective. So let's see if there's any interesting questions or anything on the chat. Okay, so yeah, Coinbase chart. I have no chart ready yet, but I have it on my agenda today. So keep an eye on my second channel. For anybody who's not familiar with it, we've got one more channel, More Trading Online, on which we do stocks and shares as well, right? And the S&P 500. Let me just open that. So I plan to release a Coinbase analysis today on that channel. Because it's quite interesting and want to do a bit of Mara as well. HUT, sort of doing a little bit more of the crypto stocks as well. So again, anybody who's not familiar, you can check out this channel as well. It's not only about, it's not about crypto, but we do, you know, oil, S&P 500, silver, DXY, gold, some stocks and shares as well. So while we're waiting, yeah, PayPal, did PayPal recently, Tesla, and it might be interesting for one or two people out there. So today I plan to really, I wanted to do it yesterday, but you know, time is rare. So I couldn't get it done yesterday, Coinbase, but we'll do that today. I can't look at it now because I don't have a chart, and you know, I don't want to give you a wrong wave count, but we'll do that later. So feel free to subscribe, and then you get the notification. Okay, so CPI is not out yet, Rita, but in around about 20 minutes. So, thank you, DJ Monte. That's really kind. Yeah, Coinbase. Yeah, it's interesting. It's just also the not only Coinbase, but obviously the minor stocks like Marathon, yeah, and Hut and Riot. They're quite doing quite well at the moment. Okay, so Implos asks, what happens to crypto when inflation goes down? Well, it's typically, I mean, you can't really say it's always the case, but oftentimes you would consider if inflation is, it's not about if inflation goes down. Yeah, I mean, inflation is still very high, but the rate of inflation, if that reduces, that's not really bullish necessarily. What is bullish, at least short term, is if it is lower than the market expects. So what you always need to understand is what does the market expect? And then based on what then eventually is the actual figure that is coming out, that is going to move the market, not necessarily the forecast, isn't it? Well, that already happened, you know, that's already priced in the forecast. So it's the actual figure. Any surprises are basically moving the market. It's not going to be anything that's already priced in. That's not gonna move the market. You know? But you can never be sure. That's why, you know, trading the news is always, it's something that doesn't make much sense, because unless you're very fast, yeah, you need to be very fast. So I normally don't take any movement that happens like around like 2 hours around the CPI release too seriously. Okay, I don't know. True inflation says 2.5 already. Okay, yeah. Again, a lot of people think it might actually be lower, and the question is, what is going to be priced in already? So that's always a challenge. No, Jake, I don't use any volume profiles. Well, the only thing that I sometimes use is the VRVP. It can give you an idea of you know, where you have obviously areas, historic areas of trade. They might give you support resistance areas, but I use mainly Fibonacci. Yeah, if you add too many variables, it becomes confusing, and volume in general is extremely unreliable in crypto, especially because you have a lot of different exchanges and there's a lot of rumors around that, you know, there's artificial volume, and so it's not reliable at all. Volume, can't use volume for crypto analysis. I don't think you can. It's when volume shows up, the price is already moved, you know, and just because you have volume doesn't mean the price is bullish or bearish. Yeah, volume is just an indication of how much is being transacted, but that doesn't give you an indication is it bullish or bearish. It is not, because you can have a lot of volume through limit orders, but limit orders are not moving price. Only market orders are moving price. Okay, so just go through some questions here. Let's see. What do we have? By the way, hit the like button while I read through the questions, if there are any. So Solana, yeah, Solana has nothing changed since my last video. So if you watched the last video that I made late yesterday, nothing's changed. So just waiting here for some clarity. Yeah, but also here, right? So if I have no chart, I can't really give you a TA right now because it takes too long. So also here, Riot or Dash, I can't come up with a TA now because if I don't have a chart, it's sort of pointless to do that live here. It takes a lot of work, unfortunately. But I will do. I said I want to do Riot. I want to do Marathon. I want to do Coinbase, but on the other channel. I will point that on this publish that on Discord as well for gold members. Litecoin, I just published a video. So also here it's just nicely playing out the wave 1 to the upside and an ABC structure to the downside in a wave 2. So that's sort of at the moment expected. And there's a question about Matic. So yeah, no change at all. I mean, it can certainly push higher. Matic. This is currently the bearish wave count in an ABC. I mean, it would lead to another low, but price action has so far been constrained by these trend lines. So until they really break, we have no indication that this small rally is over. It's not even a massive rally. I mean, it's just sort of climbing higher. And this wave 4 is getting ridiculous in size now, but it's not too high to be a wave 4. So we need to keep options open at the moment. But if it goes above 79 cents, we've got something more bullish probably going on here. I mean, essentially it turned around in that support area here, which is what we wanted. And now for more clarity, we need to get the first deeper pullback, but there's no indication it has stopped yet. Okay, there's no indication. Originally from Germany, there was a question where I come from originally, but now I live in the UK. So Johan, what's alt means? I'm not sure what you mean with alt. But my chair is moving down. Don't know why. Need to get a new chair. Yeah, alt. I don't know what you mean with alt. What's alt means? Altcoin or alternative count? Obviously, we've got alternative wave counts. There's typically a primary wave count in Elliott Wave, and an alternative. So, like here as well, Matic. Yeah, we would expect this is a wave 4, and with one more low to come, basically. But we also track the potential of something more bullish. So that means if price does the pullback in this area, this is where we need to be watching, and any long trades in this area would have a potentially strong, good reward to risk ratio, yeah. But the point is, if it breaks below the yellow area, then we are very likely going to see a lower low on the Matic chart. Yeah, if you know, we also have a German. I mean, we've got a German channel as well for anybody who's not aware. I mean, there's not that many updates, but there's a German community as well, German-speaking channel as well. So anybody who wants to check that out, let me see if I actually can find that right now, and then you can, if there are any German-speaking people in the audience, you can check that out as well. So let me just open that quickly while not much is going on. So yeah, here, so not that. So yeah, this is German channel, obviously mainly Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana and so on, but it's German speaking, so check that out. If you are a German speaker, you can feel free to join the German community as well. So yeah, that's but this is the main channel, obviously. This is the main channel. So yeah, I mean, if nobody, you know, there's a few questions about Elliott Wave in general. I mean, check out our website, morecryptoonline.com. There are some basic free tutorials. If you want to learn more, you can join our membership. It is honestly a steal for the content that you get there. And there's lots of education in the membership. You know, it's not just stupid signals. It's lots of education, stuff about trading, mindset, but also what all these patterns are. So obviously can't discuss that here because it's quite a complex analysis tool. You know, it's a bit like it's a complex tool, but no need to overcomplicate it. You can use it in a very simple way, but there's a lot to learn. Anybody who's interested, you can feel free to check out the membership. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, my view. So there's lots of Elliott Wave. I don't know any Elliott Wave learning websites. I mean, we have one here, morecryptoonline.com. That's lots of free content, but in the membership we have tons of education, which is continue being added to. So if you really like to learn about Elliott Wave, feel free to check it out. There's lots of, you just Google Elliott Wave, but the problem is with a lot of the Elliott Wave content out there that you find, it's very generic, it's very superficial, it's very on the surface, and you just read and learn about the theoretical elements. What is really important is to know how to use it in practice. Okay, so I had to have a method that works with Elliott Wave. which is what we talk about a lot. But for anybody who likes to read about Elliott Wave, it's the main book is Frost and Prechter's Elliott Wave Principle. That's still the main book. There isn't anything else. There's a few people who try to change the system, which is not original. So it's, yeah, just stick to the original, you know. Okay. Yeah, so question here about VeChain. I won't be able to answer all questions, so I apologize, but there's obviously lots of people coming in, which is great, but I try to do what I can. So VeChain, yeah, VeChain 5-wave move up into July, so it's now playing out this B wave apparently. That's how it looks like. But be aware, you know, today inflation data, so things can change quickly. We've got another 15 minutes. So B wave is likely to push a little higher. Yeah, it would be nice. We already have a 3-wave move, but it would be likely to push a little higher, maybe to 1.96 cents all the way up to 2.05. And as long as it stays below 2.05, we should get that C wave here to the downside in a wave 2. Yeah, there was a question about how did I learn Elliott Wave? I mean, I've been using it for 14 years now, so it's just over the years, and you get mentors, you know, you just read, you watch videos, you trade with it, and yeah, so okay, someone asked for the link to the German channel. Yeah, let me just post it, and then you get that link. I'll also post the link right now to the other more trading channel, which we talk about the stocks and shares. So the first one is the German, you find the link there, this German speaking channel, and then we've got the, let me just do that on the second screen here, the channel on which I plan to release, I just need to make sure I've got the right, here, so there's the channel on which I plan to release a Coinbase video later. Okay, so that's done. No, I don't live in Germany anymore. I don't know. I haven't visited Germany for years now. So Edgix. Edgix looks quite weak. I would like, you know, we just had a look at the VeChain chart. I would like to see a stronger B wave. It is quite weak though. So at the moment there is no B wave I can see. So I have my doubts because it should have really started already. So I don't know, it has a chance of failing obviously below support. So it needs to hold 19.3 cents to give this possible bullish wave count a chance. But it is now in the area where it really needs to start to do a bit of a recovery rally before it actually comes down further, because otherwise it starts to come down quite deep, this wave 2. Yeah, and you normally want to you want a wave 2, which is the correction. You want that to unfold in a 3-wave structure, right? And if you don't see after a certain decline or drawdown the B wave start, then it's a sign that it's quite weak, obviously. So this is the area to watch, obviously, where a reversal can happen. So all these flip levels here, 23.2, 22.1, 20.9, and 19.3 cents. So is there any chance for Bitcoin to go to 32K after CPI? I mean, there's always a chance, yeah, but at the moment we're still waiting for one more high, yeah. So, but it could go down first before going up. That's sort of at the moment what the price suggests. AKR. I don't know what you mean if I never give instructions to enter a long or short. I mean, if you take a trade, that's obviously your decision, because everybody's got a different portfolio strategy. You know, there is a strategy is always depends on your portfolio, your cash flow, your portfolio composition, what coins you want to trade. You know, so I can't tell you what to do. Also, I'm not allowed to due to regulations. But I mean, the chart is clear, right? The boxes are there right here with Edgix, for example. I mean, anybody who entered here, that's what it's for. You know, they are the areas where people can scale in if they like to, right? And this would have generated a profitable trade. Similar story with ADA here as well. The charts are self-guided, so I don't need to tell people what to do or can't do because of regulations. Also here, Ethereum chart, I mean, this is clearly an area where long trades could have been positioned here as well, yeah, and here as well, and they would all have generated profitable trades. So yeah, no, I don't give people personal recommendations because I don't know you, I don't know your cash flow, I don't know your strategy, don't know your risk appetite and anything. And also I don't have the time to manage those trades for people, of course, but the charts are self-guided for that reason. So they're actually pretty obvious. They are pretty colorful and big and can be used, you know. But of course they can break, but that's why they are for. You know, if they break, then you know, okay, this setup didn't work, and yeah. So oops. So Anthony, yeah, Elliott Wave. I mean, we've got the question was if there's an explanation about Elliott Wave in German. We've got a German Patreon membership. In there we've got all the educational data because it all needed to be translated, but it's in German on there, so you could check that out. You'll find that on the channel. If you're interested, you could just try it for a month. You get all the content and then you quit after a month if you don't like it, but it's ongoing education. You get all the patterns if you join, and so yeah, it's all in German. You could just join for a month if you like to, and then get it all and then leave if you. But hopefully you stay. There's a question now, what's my favorite project coin? I don't really have a favorite coin. You know, the favorite coins change based on the charts. As long as the setup is good, it's a favorite. But altcoins change quickly. There isn't really a single long-term really good altcoin chart other than Ethereum. So we always need to be careful with altcoins. From an Elliott Wave point of view, that there isn't really one that is super reliable. There are some that are okay. There are some that are good, like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Some are okay, like let's say ADA, Solana, Matic, BNB is still okay. And 99% of altcoin charts are just unreliable or just junk. With junk, I just mean they are unreliable. Okay, there's no, I mean, just an example. In most charts look like that, to be honest. We won't do that. Oops, 1 second. Most charts, you know, if you go to, what do we have here? ICP. I mean, not all charts are as bad as that one, but that is an example of a really, really bad chart. Right? It's just dead, and this might never recover. Okay, because there's just nothing bullish on this chart. So yeah, I mean, not all are as bad as this one, but if a chart is in a lifetime downtrend, and most charts are, to be honest, then there's no reason to trade it on the long side, to be honest, right? I mean, other than hopium, but you wouldn't use Elliott Wave, you would just use hope for that. You would just hope it would go up at some point, but the reality is, you know, just look at the numbers. There's tons of altcoins that got delisted, that died because the charts are just bad. And it needs sentiment. You can have all sorts of positive fundamentals and tokenomics, but they don't help a chart, right? They don't help the price. You know, no good tokenomics helped any project to avoid the bear market. By the way, please hit the like button. It would be really helpful to get a few more people here into this stream. No, I don't do copy trading. Again, same reason, because people have different strategies. Some people want to trade daily, you know, and I'm not a day trader, so I trade the larger swings. So for some people it will be too boring. I know people, good traders, who offered copy trading, and just because some people still don't have an idea of risk management, so you can follow someone doing copy trading. One trade could fail, but the person who followed just sort of took a loan, no risk management at all, bet the entire house on it, and then I know someone who got threats, death threats, even though he's a profitable trader. But there's some people, it's crazy. So I don't need to stress. It's just, and in fact, you know, people need to make their own decisions. That's why we teach it in the membership, right? That's why we help people to make their own trading decisions. That's much better and more sustainable as well. Because the whole purpose, the whole foundation that many people just don't have is risk management, and that's so important. It's much more important than making profits is to first of all learn how you avoid losses. Anyway, yeah, we already did Litecoin, and I made a video already, so check that out. Okay, Tomo asked, is ICT easier to learn than Elliott Wave? I don't know what you mean with ICT. I might just ICT. Not sure what you mean with ICT easier to learn than Elliott Wave. Well, Elliott Wave is quite a complex. It's easy to learn the basics, but you need the experience. But that's also why obviously we're here offer the service, so you can just use the parameters that the analysis offers for trading if you like to. So 3W, sorry, I can't really, but sometimes you say Ethereum is maybe in wave 3. That is unlikely right now. Yeah, it's not third wave behavior that Ethereum is showing. Yeah. So it would mean that this wave 2 is already finished, but this is unlikely given the rejection that we saw on the 10th of July. It's a very clear 3-wave move to the upside, strong rejection, and therefore it is at least reasonable to expect one more low. Now, before that one more low happens, and also it would be a very shallow wave too, it can be that it's just doing a bit of a higher B wave. The B wave is certainly not maxed out in terms of what it can do. It can certainly go a little higher to maybe around about 1940. You know, on days like these, again, you get a lot of quick movements, so certainly you could get that spike and then a sell-off. Oftentimes on days like these, the initial reaction is the wrong one. Yeah, so you might get an initial rally and then down. It is run into resistance, so clearly at an inflection point, a pivot point, and now it's patience what's required. If we break above 1895, I think it makes it much more likely that this B wave is extended, not necessarily more bullish, just an extended B wave due to the entire structure, which is just corrective. And that overlap here just indicates this is still a B wave. So we need to have an open mind. It could be an extended B wave, but not necessarily already in the third wave. It should really be a, yeah, I mean, in the third wave, you should normally see a bit of a rocket start. Oh yeah, I don't know, inner circle trader, I don't know what that is. ICT, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a method or a person. If it's a person, he might have his own method. I don't know what it is. But I use Elliott Wave. It's just, you know, not mixing too many things together, just having one solid method, not using thousands of indicators, which just confuse you. Just the price action and the fibs, and maybe sometimes trend lines, sometimes looking for divergences. You know, just keeping it simple. Yeah, welcome to India. Welcome. Greetings to India. Fourth eye. Ben, what do you think about funded accounts, challenges, restrictions? You think it's doable to run a sustainable trading strategy? Sorry, I don't know what you mean with funded accounts, challenges, restrictions. You think it's doable I don't know what you mean. Sorry, I don't know. But of course you can run a sustainable trading strategy, but I don't know what you mean with the funded accounts. So by the way, in 2 minutes we need to be ready. I know there are more requests coming in, by the way, because I just read a few people who just joined apparently the membership. If you don't, because you might be in the stream or whatever, if you don't find the join instructions or anything, please just send an email to support@morecryptoonline.com. I will send the email, put the email here, because some people might, if you just join here, you might not see the join instructions. I don't know how it works, but it's the email, so send an email if you have joined and need access. Okay, ICT works with order blocks, liquidity and fair value gaps. Okay, it's a completely different strategy. So you know, there are hundreds, thousands of working strategies. I like Elliott Wave because it is a leading indicator. Yeah, it just works with price action. But again, there are people who trade fundamentals who are successful. If anybody likes to learn more about sort of different approaches to trading, I would really encourage you. There are audiobooks as well. The Market Wizards series, really good book series, amazing book series, just gives you a better perspective on what people use. Some of these guys use Elliott Wave. Some of these guys used to trade with fundamentals, some just technicals. There are so many ways how you can, but I really like Elliott Wave, especially with crypto. It seems to work really well. The idea is to track, because crypto just purely works on sentiment. There are no reliable fundamentals like in stocks and shares that you can trade with. So it's like stocks and shares, you've got whatever, what you have with stocks and shares, you've got your ratios, you have really fundamentally accepted or widely accepted fundamentals, balance sheets and everything. You don't have that in crypto. So it's all sentiment. And that's what the FIBs do, and the Elliott Waves track sentiment. And that's why it works well, in my opinion, right? Of course, not always. I mean, nothing works 100%. And it gives you the roadmap, and that's why I like Elliott Wave, because no other method gives me that idea of where price might be heading if it's following this path. And wave counts are off many times because nobody's got the crystal ball, but it gives you that idea when you're wrong as well. But yeah, we already see some upside here. So what's actually the figures? Sorry, I missed that completely. Oh, come on, they haven't updated it here on investing.com. Maybe someone can, so 3%, so that's better. Oh, here, 0.2, yeah, that's lower. Month over month is lower, 0.2 versus 0.3% forecast. That's potentially bullish, that's why we see a potential bullish reaction. It hasn't updated year over year, why is that? But 3.0 I read in the chat. Ah, come on, why are they not up to date? That's really annoying. But here, 0.2% month over month and 3% year over year. So it's a little bit lower than, 3.5. Different numbers coming in here, why is that? 3%, okay, 3%, yeah. So it's a little more bullish than the market, I think, expected. Bitcoin going up a little bit. Broke above the trend line, not above the FIBs though. And as I just said, the initial reaction can be wrong on days like. So we can't draw any conclusions based on this now, right? We can't draw any conclusions. We need to let it play out and then let the market settle. But certainly initial reaction is bullish based on the figures. Yeah, it's below market consensus, so a little bit more bullish, but not massively. There were rumors spreading before already that, by the way, hit the like button, would be really helpful if you could do that. Oh yeah, Forex Factory is fast. That might be true. Maybe next time I use Forex Factory. Yeah, now it's stuck again, see? So first of all, coffee. Yeah, I just read a comment there. ICT. So I don't know if it's a person or whatever. But ICT dislikes Elliott Wave. Okay, but I like ICT for day trading. Yeah, I mean, different methods for different people. Not every method works for every personality. But again, there are hundreds of ways how you can trade. It's just need to find one and stick with it. Because Elliott Wave, I believe, is really good for pullback traders. If you want to get a really good entry point, you're not worried so much about win rate. You're more worried about getting really good reward to risk ratio. But for breakout traders, it works as well. But there might be other better methods, right? Just looking at Bitcoin here, not doing much. VeChain might be on its ass. It's not much going on there at the moment in the market. I think it's now also the next big move may occur when we have the opening of the stock market. Obviously, there's futures trading already, but always interesting to see what the spot market's doing. Okay, so a question here by Z Pinky about LDO. Yeah, we can have a look around, but not too much of a reaction initially here. And it's pretty much, I mean, it's a little bit more, I want to say bullish, but a little bit high, yeah, a little bit more bullish than the market expected, you could say, but not much more. So yeah, LDO, no change to previous forecast. It's played out here, a wave 1 to the downside of a C wave, and it might still be working on this wave 2 as it seems. I mean, we have 3 waves up. we have 3 waves down, so that leaves a certain likelihood that this wave 2 goes a bit higher. It was quite weak anyway, this wave 2. I like to see a wave 2 reach the 50% retracement. Now, it's enough if it reaches the 38.2, right? It's just a very shallow wave 2 then. And to get a bit more clarity in the wave count, it's always nice to see it reach the 50% retracement, because then we can always be, I don't want to say sure, but you can be more certain it's a wave 2. ABC, yeah, but a break below this Monday low, 186, is likely already pushing it down in the third wave then. But the trend is down on that chart, short term. Yeah, so now we see a bit of red, but it's just basically where it was an hour ago. So it's just initial volatility. So what are your thoughts about Lux Algo? I don't use Lux Algo. I mean, I don't need any indicators on the chart other than a basic RSI and a MACD and maybe some volume sometimes. Because indicators are always lagging. They don't give you all indicators basically. I mean, I don't know if there are any, you know, Elliott Wave is a leading indicator because we know in which areas, in which Fibonacci ratio areas, sentiment is likely to shift. So it's a leading indicator. Other indicators like the MACD, the RSI, even they are lagging. So they don't really tell you anything that you don't see by looking at price action anyway. Lux Algo, I haven't used it, but it's also a bunch of just indicators that, you know, a lot of people use it, you know, but it's just not part of my method, and chances are they're also all lagging, right? But if you can build a proper method by using it, fair enough. I mean, again, the indicators, it's an indicator suite. They're all just indicating. Yeah, they're just that, you know, price action is always king, always. But oops, is there really no audio? No, there is audio. Someone asked about audio. But for some people, indicators are great. You know, it just doesn't work for everybody. You don't need them. The quick question there: are we going up or down? Well, we're not at the moment. We're not doing anything. So, yeah, no reason to change anything on the charts at the moment. I mean, this could just be a higher wave 2. You know, until we break above 31,150, we don't really have a breakout. And it also has tried to break above the trend lines, failed at the moment. Tistu, are you planning to enter some VeChain longs? I already have a bit of a VeChain position actually. I was looking at one chart that I like at the moment, and I posted that yesterday on Discord, is GMX. If GMX, because we have a really nice 5-wave move up of the June lows, if it comes into this yellow area, yeah, then I will probably add some longs for GMX. Yeah, but chances are, you know, if GMX moves, the other coins will. But GMX moved differently to other coins in recent months, so it's potentially something interesting here. So. Okay, Randlelva, Joey. Didn't we look at Joey before? I thought so. But I don't have a chart, do I? Let's have a quick look. What was Joey again? Joe. What was that again? Oh, is it Joe USD you mean, or Joe USDT? Or is it something else? Is it? Oh, is it our Trader Joe? So it's pretty bearish at the moment, at least. Yeah, you've got certainly 5 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 waves up. Yeah. So no, I don't see a clear. I don't see anything clear here on the long side or anything. I mean, problem is you have a lifetime downtrend, 5 waves down, yeah, and 3 waves up, and you're not even at you already moved down, so you're outside of resistance. Like, I mean, if I add just basic fibs here, it reacted to the 50% fib level, so you know, you're not even in resistance anymore. So yeah, we're basically in the middle of nowhere now. I mean, this can always extend higher. Certainly nothing that would be in any way bullish at the moment. So 1, 2 could do this, yeah. Of course, this, what I would label as wave 2, can always extend a bit higher, but there's just not high probability. There's just nothing reliable. This would need to break above 145 to at least be a little bit more bullish. So yeah, at the moment I don't see anything clear here with Elliott Wave at least. It's holding a trend line as it seems, but it just seems like one more weak chart that is likely to fail at some point. Yeah, this is a 3-wave move up, so it's an ABC. This could turn into a larger ABC for sure, but it's not reliable. I mean, if you want to use a trend line to go into a long position, I mean, here it is. You pulled back to a trend line. The likelihood is if it breaks below the trend line, it's gonna head to new lows potentially. But yeah, I think there are other setups again, like Solana, Matic potentially, Litecoin that look a bit more promising in my opinion. Brian, I don't think there's any change to Bitcoin Cash, so we are hanging in the middle of nowhere. It already reacted to our support area, so it could go up at any time, but it hasn't shown significant evidence it's doing that. It needs to break out of the wedge pattern to indicate that it's going up in the 5th wave. I mean, it certainly did what it was supposed to be doing. It came back to the support area for wave 4, reacted, and we're waiting for a potential breakout. But until that happens, it can easily come back into the support area again. At the moment, I don't see this move up is also in 3 waves, just touching resistance again. It surely depends a little bit on Bitcoin as well, but Bitcoin is not moving. So just following the pattern at the moment until a breakout. If the breakout occurs with volume, I think we have that target of 395, but no change to the count at the moment here. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash, no change. Okay, we can take a look at, there was a request by Max about Atom. So it seems a bit like a non-event again, right? Okay, Atom might have done this B wave. I think I highlighted that before. Hit an A wave down, a B wave up. That B wave might still be unfolding, so we could get a higher B wave as long as 990 is not broken to the upside. This could just all be a B wave with a C wave to follow. So it needs to break below what I have labeled as A wave low at $9.08 to confirm that the C wave is unfolding. But we have 5 waves down, possible B wave to the upside and the C wave to follow. Now again, B wave can extend, but looking at the structure here, the idea is that there is at least a chance that a bullish wave count works out from here. It's not high confidence, that's why I highlighted that in orange. Due to the choppy nature of this structure. It's a leading diagonal. You can't trust them necessarily, but they still produce a possible setup higher. But condition is it needs to hold $7.92. There's another question. What's your opinion on copy trading? I don't know why people would use copy trading. I mean, you're not in control of your money. You have no idea how trading works. If you copy trade someone and you put all your, I trust in my own abilities. I want to have control, right? So I would never copy, I would never find someone who copy trades for me or follow that person, because it's that person could have a completely different strategy, mindset, I know, and you never know what that person is thinking, right? You give away the control of your money, which is essentially, I don't know, I don't get it. So, and the problem is typically people who use copy trading, they typically do it because they can't trade themselves, which is then makes me think, right, isn't it better to get educated? The other problem is that a lot of people who use copy trading, they have no idea about risk management, so they might risk far too much, and then again that person could have a losing streak, even though the person might be profitable, but the person might have a losing streak. And if someone is just entering that copy trader's followership, in a losing streak, which every trader has from time to time, the person using copy trading could completely wipe out his or her portfolio. So it is something that I would not recommend to anyone. I'd rather put the work in to learn trading, but then again, people don't want to do that. Okay, but if you don't want to do that, maybe you shouldn't trade at all, or just stick to higher time frames, stick to investing. That's my view, because trading essentially is hard. Yeah, it's it's not like I know it's easy. You switch on your laptop, PC, and you start to trade, but it's still a discipline that needs to be learned. No, Spartan Deluxe. No new news on Quant. Quant is just probably the most boring chart out there at the moment. But the range is getting tighter and tighter, which is typically an indicator that things are starting to move at some point and in very volatile ways. Now the good news is, okay, there is a bit of news. I mean, it broke below that trend line, not a very well defined trend line anyway. I mean, you could even draw it like that. They're always a bit subjective, aren't they? So nevertheless, it's sort of following the idea that we should go a little lower in this C wave. So, but it needs to break below 95. I mean, there was a lot of support around 95. That's essentially what we're probably going to test again, and hopefully we break below it. It seems to need another low so that we can get some proper buying power back in. Yeah, exactly, Tistu. Yeah, that's true. Don't do copy trading. A friend and me both blew our account. Yeah, again, because you never know what that person is doing. I mean, again, you could follow a profitable trader, but you still need to follow risk management. Yeah, even if you follow someone, you should still not risk more than, so many percent of your portfolio, like 1 or 2%. So, yeah. But yeah, it's like all charts are boring at the moment. It's like, all not only crypto. I mean, obviously we cover net gas and other charts. They're all ranging. It's just so boring. Okay, Alex Thunder, LAI. Can have a look. But I'm not sure. Or Layer AI. Oh, that's oh yeah. There is nothing we can do really with this one because it's such short chart history. You can't use Elliott Wave here. It's just too short. You can't use any TA really with this one. Yeah, this could just crap out and just break down. You have no established trend. Yeah, the only thing is you can use a bit of a fib ratio, and you can say, okay, you have a potential uptrend, a very very fragile one. You just draw the fibs here, and you say, okay, if it comes down into this region, it might turn around. So I'm watching this area between 1.4 cents, 1.27 and 1 cent for a possible turnaround. But you've got that on other charts as well, where we have a more established trend. Okay, so, but yeah, that's the only thing I think you can do here. But if it breaks below 1 cent, I take your money and run, right? This might go to nowhere. I mean, it's just, yeah. Okay, Tomo asked, hi Ben, do you own or invest into NFTs? Most of my ADA is tied up in NFTs, but mostly ones with utility. They are a great way of losing money, I can tell you that. I mean, I'm not an NFT expert. I bought a couple, a while ago, but I'm not an NFT expert. They are. I bought some. How were they called? Mighty Gojiras. Someone told me, you can get some passive income rubbish. Obviously, it didn't work. So they were a great way to lose half an ETH or something. But it was more for fun. But that's all. I mean, I wouldn't use NFTs or try to see NFTs as an investment vehicle, really. It's pure hype speculation. NFT hype might come back, but the problem is there's just so many of them. And a lot of them will be AI generated in the future as well. So I think, in terms of it's sometimes it's even worse than coins, because you don't even have sometimes, well, you often have a team behind them, but sometimes not. So yeah, no, I'm not an NFT expert. I have a couple of NFTs. That's it, and I wouldn't buy anymore, because I'm not. It's a completely different discipline. I'm sure there are people who make money with it, but then they need to live and breathe it, yeah, every single day. But yeah, I mean, in terms of, yeah, you said they have utility, okay, but a lot of coins have utility, they die, because utility doesn't make a price, okay. So what I sometimes see is, oh, the transactions on one blockchain go higher, and or what do other people say? Oh, yeah, VeChain has such a great utility, or this and that coin. The problem is utility, even if a coin is used a lot, it doesn't change the price. It doesn't, only sentiment changes price, and without demand, you do not, despite the best tokenomics, the best utility, you can still get a chart that goes to zero. It is reality, right? So fundamentals in crypto, they are just not useful, and it is what it is. Otherwise, you would have some, otherwise, the best projects wouldn't have gone into the bear market, right? But they all did. And the worst ones die. But there are really bad ones which are still surviving, and that's purely because of hype and sentiment. But yeah, I mean, I lost some money with NFTs. It's just, I still have them somewhere. I don't know where they are. I think on my MetaMask, but I probably won't. Will never look at them again. But yeah, I'll be careful with that. So factor call GMX STX breaking. I don't know what you mean with breaking. I mean, GMX is just doing what it's supposed to be doing, coming back in this ABC correction, slowly grinding its way down here. Ideally, it comes a bit lower to the yellow support area. Stacks, I think Stacks turned into a bit of a mess. Oops. Oh, and thank you very much, Chandra. Really appreciated. Yeah, Stacks turned into a mess. It's completely unreliable because the pullback was too deep. So I don't know what this is. It seemed, I take that out now. It seems to have broken down in a too deep. So it seemed to have topped in 3 waves. I would have to change the wave count. This is not a reliable 5-wave move to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to new lows. At least it's not reliable anymore. Yeah. So I'm not sure what this is. I mean, the setup worked out down here. Yeah, this was again one of the trend reversal areas, but it's coming down too deep, and the rally was only in 3 waves. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what this becomes. Maybe a larger ABC structure because the move down is not clearly impulsive. So this might turn into, what I have labeled here as a wave 2 might just be the first wave of the correction. Then it might do an A, B, C, and it comes down then, but it's not a reliable setup anymore. This should have produced a 5-wave move up, then we would have had a nice setup, 5 up and then 3 down, but it didn't do the 5 wave, so this is now unclear. So I leave it open. I don't know. Could nothing reliable, certainly no clear setup. I mean, you can always trade it long if you like to after this pullback, but it's just not, it just doesn't give us the clear long-term outlook. Yeah, now see, okay, so now we break a bit, which is great. So I like to see it follow this path down. It's a bit too early to say, but let's see. As I said, the initial reaction is often the wrong one. Can be, at least. Selling volume, can you see that? But it's not broken the trend line. So Louis, there is no change to Solana at all. I mean, no change at all. Seems to have tried to break above the trend line, but sort of failed. Yeah, the trend isn't broken, so it can still push higher. Resistance levels are indicated on the chart: $23.30, $23.30, $24. Absolutely no change to the last video, other than an attempted breakout, which so far failed. But essentially we're waiting here for a top to be made at some point, but at the moment there is no evidence it has happened yet, so the trend is still up. And I would need to adjust now the support area based on the latest spike, but it doesn't change it much. So $15 is bullish support, but no change at all at the moment. Bitcoin might come down, but it's also too weak at this stage. Well, fingerstyle, you could argue we might be in the early stages of the bull run already. I mean, Bitcoin doubled in price since November. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think we're in the early stages of a bull run. At least I will think that as long as the relevant support levels are holding that I present in my videos. So far, I haven't seen anything. It's worked out quite nicely since the end of last year. So there's no reason to assume we are still in a bear market. If you look at Bitcoin, Ethereum at least, because prices have doubled. Okay, yeah, we'll see. Things can change. It's a dynamic market, but certainly a break above 31k would, or 31.5k, yeah, would give more confidence that we're actually in a bull market. But again, it will be a rocky road. I said that many times. And I reserve the right to change my view. It's not like some people in the Twitter space out there who've got their opinion and who are not going to change their opinion, even though the market is screaming bullish, and the market is screaming bullish for months now, and there's still bears out there who says the price will go down, while everybody's seeing the price go up. And you need to go with a trend. That's why if I see the trend shift, then I will change my view. That's just reasonable. You have to be close to the market, and the market is the boss. It's not like, again, there are people out there, and I always see it. They get mental breakdowns. You can call them influencers or whatever on Twitter, especially, who have been bearish over 6-7 months, and people get very annoyed now. Yeah, it's a bit like Plan B, end of 2021, when he was like, hammering on the table and screaming for 120k. When it became very apparent that it's not going to happen anymore, he was still saying it will. And then when it didn't happen, he just disappeared for 6 months and left everybody's left all his followers alone. So don't have a bias. You can have a bias, but only based on what the chart is telling you. And the trend is clearly up on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So there's no reason to be bearish until the chart shows it. Okay, so that's always, I don't know. And then people, because they have their opinion and they don't want to be wrong, they just stick with their position, and then the price still goes higher and people still bearish, and then they burn out because people get pissed off. Whereas the only thing you can do is have a position, have an idea based on what the chart is telling you, but know exactly when you have to change your view, which is exactly what Elliott Wave is telling us, which is why I love this method, because we just go with the trend. And sometimes you have really great turning points, like this one. We captured this turning point perfectly. The target was 1960 to 1980. Now sometimes you don't get the turning point spot on, but at least you capture the biggest part of the move. And sometimes you're wrong. It's normal. Yeah, but let's see. Is this coming down now? It could be. It's just not. There's not much happening. Okay, so it was maybe a little bit of a non-event today. Let's see. I was sincerely hoping. Can still happen, right? I was sincerely hoping we finally get a decent move and get out of this range. But sometimes it happens later on the day. Let's see. Okay, I think not much is happening, so I think I will close the stream. I'll say thank you to everybody who was here, and I will just update on Telegram and Discord for all gold members, all silver members. Gold members get the signals, and I will make videos again today. Of course, I will take a look at our second and third channels. As indicated, we'll publish a Coinbase video today and try to do marathon as well, but definitely Coinbase first. So I posted the links earlier today. Thanks all for joining. Enjoy your day and see you later. Bye bye.